It's time for the Tuesday edition of Litter Media Live. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dan Ramey.
He's the important one.
The star of the show, however, is the
Dan
mic
Ramey,
on, Mike Smith, who sits to my right and who is on the left of your screen here today.
Dan is the technical guy that is actually the glue that holds this operation together. I am simply the eye candy.
What you're saying, in essence, is anything that goes wrong, it's all my fault.
It's on Dan. See, now, the way I said it sounded much more complimentary to you.
Yeah.
You stole your own thunder.
Thank you for that.
You stole your own thunder.
Welcome to the program. We're just a couple of old guys that used to be on the radio, and now they gave us a camera, and here you go.
Which was really dangerous. What would we have done with that 25 or 30 years ago on the show?
We would have looked thinner.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
More hair.
Yeah.
Probably would have
not a lot of gray.
Probably would have seen things behind the scenes that you, thankfully, you didn't get to see. Yeah.
We might have actually had a producer.
Well,
I mean, if we could have gotten in trouble with the camera back then, surely there would have been someone a little more responsible to keep us in line, like a producer.
There's no one around yelling in the background, "Protect the license," like Mr. Latham, sir, used to do. Protect the license.
He said that. My phrase has always been, any microphone is an open microphone. And but I have also used the protect the license saying a number of times, usually around Matt Bruning.
Oh, geez.
Because of Matt Bruning.
Yeah.
So, but he's grown into a responsible adult, so.
I'd have to check with his wife to verify that. I need a second source on that one, yeah.
Well, we'll check with the governor. I think the governor thinks he's okay, or else he'd be gone. So.
Or Mr. Marchbanks, his boss. You know.
Yeah. Welcome to the program. Gosh, we've jumped into the radio a bit before we've actually. Yeah, we may or may not have a radio segment for you today.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
No, it's not you.
This is what's coming this week, folks.
This is being in the loft of a warehouse. And I forgot to check the thermostat downstairs, which is very comfortable when you walk in downstairs.
Yes, yeah.
But yesterday, it was draining. I had to turn on a fan.
Yeah.
To get some air circulation going.
My weather has all three letters capitalized with an exclamation point. Hot.
I was going to say, would those three letters be H-O-T?
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse as the week goes. Today, as you see there on our map, we're looking for a high in the mid-80s, but already the National Weather Service is looking ahead to Thursday, which is a couple of days away. But just get prepared for it. A heat advisory is out. Heat index 105 to 110. That means the feels-like temperature for this Thursday. So we gradually warm up into the 90s tomorrow, but Thursday is going to be probably the worst day of the week. So just if you need to get you a fan or something like that, or check on grandma or grandpa or something like that, make sure you get that done ahead of time.
Because it'll feel like H-E double toothpicks out there.
And the Lord says, you don't even know how hot that is.
That's true.
And hopefully we never will.
Let me show you hot.
Yeah. I can up one on that one, yeah.
Heard of this thing called fire, but have you ever experienced brimstone?
Yeah. Wow.
No, I
was that an Elmer Fudd that did that? Or an imitation of Elmer?
It could be.
For the movie or the music. Fire. Yeah.
I think that was a parody.
Yes, I think you're right.
Of Elmer Fudd does the Pointer Sisters' Fire.
Fire.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Oh, wow.
I've got it in my brain now. I can't get it out. We've got a show to do here, Mike.
Yeah. This is the fun part of the show. Yeah,
it is the fun part of the show. And, you know, a lot of folks have been talking about Litter Media Radio. This will be on Litter Media Radio later. And for those of you that are watching, you get a chance to see our antics. But those who will be listening, it'll be just like when we were on the radio again.
Right. I don't have to look at them, but I love to listen to them. Yeah.
You have to, and you can even, if you've got Apple CarPlay in your car or Google CarPlay, you can plug us in and listen to us that way. So
Yeah.
we've not started doing this show live on Litter Media Radio yet. When we figure out how to, we will.
We'll definitely need a secretary to answer our the door and the calls that are coming in while
Precisely. We may need one today. We've got 3 shows we're doing today.
Yeah,
So
wow.
that's all just ahead as well. Now, when I say 3 shows, only one of them is live.
Correct.
The others are being recorded for playback later. So, which is one more thing I got to get done.
One more thing.
Yes. All right. Coming up, we'll take a look at news. We'll visit in with the sports section to see how things are playing out there. They say it never rains in Southern California. That's not the case this time. We'll explain in just a bit. But first, we want to tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Cleanup time. If you have need for a dumpster, you need this phone number, 740-253-8389. That is for Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Whether it's residential or commercial, give them a call. Tell them Dan and Mike sent you. You need a dumpster to clean all that stuff up. Let Carl take care of that for you. 740-253-8389. Coming up, a look at news next.
It's time to get serious about your lawn. It's time to step up to the best mower brand money can buy. For nearly 4 decades, Skag has been the easy choice for lawn care professionals. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best when it comes to mowing your lawn. There's sure to be a Skag model that's perfect for your yard, big or small. Make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood. Visit your local Skag dealer today. Skag, simply the best.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Hey everybody, Dustin Lynch here. We are so pumped to bring the tour to the all-new Roco Fest at Chillicothe, Ohio. We will catch you guys Saturday, September the 2nd.
It is time to take a look at news, and we start with grant monies.
Yeah, Chillicothe Ross Community Foundation does this each year. Their fall application cycle is opened up now through the end of September. Grant awards are available to qualified 501(c) charitable organizations that serve a public purpose and whose projects demonstrate broad community impact and or solutions to our community's opportunities and needs. Application process has changed this year because all applications are online.
But you have to do that by September 30th.
That is correct. The annual Hope Fest comes to Chillicothe Jacques Park this Saturday from 3 to 8 p.m. Celebrate recovery at the Hope Fest in conjunction with an International Overdose Awareness Day event, which will follow at 8 p.m. with a candle light vigil.
You see, we've got flags on display here in Chillicothe, each representing either someone who has an overdose or someone who's died. And I believe the white flags are representing those who passed due to an overdose. So if you want to see more, this is right down at the entrance, the south entrance to Yoctangi Park.
There was probably a time many years ago where many of us would say, well, that doesn't affect my family. Well, those days are gone, because it touches all of us in a lot of different ways that maybe some people aren't even thinking about. So
it is spread like a cancer.
Yes,
remember that period of time where we said cancer affects everybody? Overdoses have done the same thing.
But the good news is
celebrate.
There is hope. There is hope for those who are still struggling to get free, and a lot of the people that will be down there for this event will share their stories about how they were able to get help to overcome this terrible thing. Dan, you were making me aware of an event that's coming up, a cancer benefit ride. It's coming up, I believe, this Saturday. When I say ride, I believe that's a motorcycle ride.
It is, and I'm trying to find the image for it.
Okay. But that is coming up this Saturday to benefit Was it somebody at VA that works
Yes,
out there?
my son works with him, Stacy Francis. And this is horrible. I just can't find it. That's not it.
There
it
you
is.
go.
Okay. It's a benefit ride to be taking place this Saturday. They'll get things started at 11 o'clock at the American Legion Post 757 down on Cooks Hill Road. And they've got all sorts of things. They're raising money as best they can. And this is to help assist with the medical and travel expenses for Stacy Francis. So motorcycles, riders, they love to ride. Mm-hmm. And they'll ride in any kind of weather and for any kind of benefits. So this is to help out here in this great way.
And by the way, we know that there was a motorcycle procession that was going down US 35 here earlier today, and it was literally 1 to 2 miles long. We have checked with area law enforcement. They don't know anything about what it was. So anybody out there that has a clue as to what they were riding for or to, pass it along, and we'll let everybody else know, because I was coming off the ramp on 138 on western Ross County, and I was a mile behind, and there was a mile of traffic behind me. But, yeah, that was one of the longest motorcycle processions I've ever seen.
Somebody let Mike know, because he's been
I'll be thinking about
dogged
this
on
all
this
day.
all morning long.
Yeah.
So,
But I've seen some other Facebook posts, people wanting to know the same thing. And, yes, we did call local law enforcement, and they didn't know. Fairfield County Airport Fly-In, a celebration of wings and wheels, is coming to the HAS Museum at the Fairfield County Airport. This will be on Saturday, September the 2nd. The airport, which is located on Old Columbus Road in Carroll, Ohio, will host day full of planes, cars, and more between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. This will include vehicles from the Lancaster Old Car Club.
this is where I had to take my testing for drone licensing.
Is that right?
Yes.
Very good. So if you
And
like,
I passed.
like old cars and you like to see a lot of planes, including historic military aircraft, when I tell Gary McLeod about this, I know where he'll be that day. He loves old airplanes. So check that out over in Carroll, Ohio on September 2nd. Portsmouth River Day, September 1st through the 3rd. The Midway is open daily from noon until 11 p.m., but that is chock full of activities. They have live music, of course, the Queen's Pageant, that'll be coming up. They have an annual parade, carnival rides, and games, so that's a big deal coming up in Portsmouth over the Labor Day weekend. The Ohio Means Jobs Pike County Workforce and Business Development Program of Community Action Committee of Pike County will host a multi-county career fair event at the Pike County Fairgrounds on Wednesday, September the 20th from 5 to 7 p.m. Residents of Pike, Ross, Jackson, and Scioto counties are encouraged to attend. This event aims to bridge the gap between job seekers and local businesses, offering a unique opportunity for individuals to explore a wide variety of industry and career fields. So mark that on your calendar. It's a multi-county event coming up on September the 20th. And next up?
You had the Foothill Arts Festival.
Now, this is on ahead in the month of October, the actual show. However, if you are an artist and you want to show your work in this event, you need to register by September the 15th. This year's event will be at Parks Edge Event Center in the city of Jackson. So there you go. Just call them and get more information about the 41st Annual Foothills Art Festival.
And I've got a handful of things here, too. Guns and Hoses. This is going to take place at VA Memorial Stadium. You see the young man there with the ball cap. He's tipping to the crowd. That is Eric Cochran. Remember Sergeant Eric Cochran, who was shot this past November? He continues to recover. We had him out to throw the first pitch at our vintage baseball game with the Ohio Village Muffins, and he was so thrilled with what he was seeing. He asked if when he was done with his rehab, can he be a part of the team?
Oh,
so I said, absolutely. But this is to help with the proceeds there, to help, again, offsetting a lot of the bills and things that they have had. That'll be at noon on September 3rd at VA Memorial Stadium. The Chillicothe law enforcement officers taking on the local firefighters. So that's that's going to be competitive.
If he's got an arm, the Reds might be able to use him.
Stop it. Also, these guys look familiar to you? Tom McGrail, John Call, Phil Stokes, and George Powell. They are Pure Prairie League and got together with Terry Shea, also Jim Coughlin, and this was all at the Pike Heritage Museum. There is a special display for Pure Prairie League at the museum. I went by the museum the other day. I didn't go in. I don't think they were open when I had gone by. But I got to get down there and see this. And I like John's pose here. He looks like he's on an album cover, doesn't he?
Now, you were supposed to take your son there on his birthday.
I know. None of what we had, there were like 17 events we could have gone to. I was on a lawnmower instead, so didn't get a chance to do that. But congratulations to Pure Prairie League being recognized by the Pike Heritage Museum. And up in Pickaway County, they're accepting applications now for holidays at Heritage Hall. November 11th, mark that on your calendar. I know it's not even September yet, but
better get it marked down now.
I went through a store here recently. They had forgotten about Halloween. They went right to Thanksgiving stuff. How often has it been that you've seen Christmas stuff in before Labor Day?
Yeah.
Well, we're almost to that point.
Right.
So you got to prepare, right?
Absolutely.
So if you want to participate in this holidays at Heritage Hall, make sure you prepare now for November 11th of 2023, which is Veterans Day, isn't it? Or is it Armistice Day?
Well, Armistice Day, yeah, very good. Speaking of preparation, if you're heading down into Vinton County, a resurfacing project is taking place on US 50 between State Route 683 and State Route 278. Now, some of the folks that went to the football game with Uniota at Vinton County last week may have come across this. There's a pedestrian safety improvement being made in front of Vinton County High School. Now, traffic is being maintained by flaggers, and that work is not expected to be completed until October the 12th.
Are they putting in a roundabout for the sidewalk?
You know, I don't know. I have not been down there since they started that project.
You see, pedestrian improvement, an opportunity to let them do what the cars get to do in driving through roundabouts today.
Yeah.
You kind of have that when you walk into the buildings. They have those turnstile doors. I miss those. Those are pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
What do you call those? There was a terminology for this door. I can't remember what you call them.
Oh, I know.
It's like a carousel type door.
Yeah, a lot of the older buildings had them. It'll come to me here.
I think
Steve Lewis, where are you when we need you?
On a boat somewhere. I remember going through one of those for the first time, I think, when I was a little kid, and it seemed like it was in Circleville, maybe at Murphy Mart or something. I can't remember.
Now, if you had a sibling that you were upset with, the trick was get ahead of them
and stop the door.
Either that or speed it up and make them fall down in there. Yeah. Could you be that mean to your little sister or something?
It seems I remember that happening to my grandmother. Yeah. Granny Wilson from Kentucky, and walking through one of these doors, and it's like, you kids, settle down back there.
Yeah. Now, the danger was, used to ladies wore their skirts were kind of flowing, and if it kind of trailed, because there's kind of like a wind vacuum effect, if their skirt trailed too far behind and got stuck in where the door, that could be bad. Yeah.
I was just reminded of a joke that we might be able to use instead of our radio moment.
Okay. And it's
okay. It's about the only joke that I know that I can tell in public, and it came from one of our old radio buddies, the late Roger Lee.
As long as it's family friendly.
It's family, yes.
Okay.
I don't know how friendly it is, but we'll find out. All right, coming up, a look at sports. We've got things to share with you there, and a look at our revolutionary moment for today, because today is Tuesday. That's where we take a look at our revolutionary moment. These guys are revolutionary. Speaking of accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing, you're probably not having any problem with your heating today. It's the cooling that might be an issue. Your trusted comfort advisor is Accurate. They've been doing this for more than 40 years. If you want to find out where they serve and how they can help you be comfortable in your home, click on this ad anywhere you see it on littermedia.com. It'll take you to their website for Accurate heating, cooling, and plumbing. Sports on the way next.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
The U.S. Department of Energy invites you to attend one of 2 open house events to learn more about the progress for future development at the Portsmouth Gaseous Diffusion Plant in Piketon. The first is August 29th at Oscar's Restaurant in Portsmouth, located at 711 2nd Street, or August 31st at the OSU Endeavor Center in Piketon, located at 1862 Shyville Road. Both events will take place from 3 to 7 p.m. If you have questions, please call 1-888-603-7722 or email questions@fbportsmouth.com. It is Dan and Mike on Litter Media Live, but also on Litter Media Radio. So if you're watching right now, we're not live on radio, but we will have this program on the radio replay coming up here in a matter of moments. So if you're listening live, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Time for sports.
Start out with some high school golf. Miami Trace, well, let's go this way. Westfall Lady Mustangs have come out of the gate strong by winning the first 2 SVC matches of the season. Last night at Valley Vista Golf Course, they had a team score of 188. Piketon was 11 strokes back, followed by Unioto and Zane Trace. Remember, only 4 of the 8 SVC schools have teams with enough kids, the ladies' side anyway, to score points. Now, Miami Trace Panthers edged Chillicothe by 1 stroke in yesterday's FAC Boys Golf match number 4 of the season. This was over at the Hillsboro Elks course. Panthers shot a 172 with Chillicothe 1 stroke back. The Cavs, however, still lead the FAC standings with 3 matches to play. Chillicothe's Aiden Fisher was the match medalist with a 39.
There he is, getting ready to take a swing. It looks to me like he's standing a little too close to the ball, but you know what? I've never shot a 39
yeah.
for 9 holes.
Yeah, I have, as a matter of fact.
Is that right?
Yes.
I've shot a 39 for the first hole, I think.
My goal was to, this is how bad I was, guys. My goal was to break 40. And I did on a few occasions. But somebody asked me yesterday, do you still golf? And I said,
through the first 9 holes?
Yeah, after Dan Ramey got done using my clubs one time, I never could play again.
Once again, it all comes back to me.
Here's the game of the week this Friday. We're going to be up at Westfall, the Battle of Pickaway County, Logan Elm Braves and the Westfall Mustangs. This is the Litter Media Radio game of the week, and Dan's highlight package the following week will all be on there. And then on Thursday at noon of this week, we'll be previewing this game. Now, both of these teams not only are 1-0 going into the game Friday, but won by convincing scores last week. Logan Elm over Zane Trace and Westfall over Madison Plains.
Also during that show on Thursday, we will have the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. And if you've got a nomination to tell us about, send it to the address that you'll find when you click on littermedia.com.
Very good, sir. On the big league scene, baseball, the Reds and Angels were rained out. Part of that, well, it wasn't a hurricane when it got to Southern California, Hillary, but they had more rain in some of those areas of Southern California and in Nevada than they say they usually get in a year. That's hard to believe.
And I guess the rain had come to an end in time to be able to play the game. It's just it was too wet.
Right.
So they've made that now a doubleheader tomorrow. The first game of that 3-game set is tonight.
Gotcha. And the Guardians and Dodgers open their series tonight in Cleveland. See, the Dodgers have a great record out in the National League West, and the Guardians, kind of like where the Reds are in their division, still in the hunt, but you got to turn it around here and get some wins, or it's going to start fading fast.
Mike's already stepped off the bandwagon.
Well, this is the dog days of summer, and August is where you either remember in 1990.
You either make ground or you peter out. Is
This is where the 90 Reds pulled away. They went out on the West Coast.
Which is never a good thing.
Never a good thing. But they came out in aces, and that's where they pulled away to win the division. So.
And they won the World Series on the West Coast.
Yeah. And as far as somebody asked me yesterday about wild card, I think there's so many teams in the National League that have better records that aren't even leading their division. I don't think that's legitimate.
Reds were a game out of the wild card right
Is
now.
that close?
And from what I understand, this year they're taking more teams.
I think they're taking 4
let's see
division
here.
champs, and then I thought 3 or 4 after that.
Yeah, you've got the 3 divisions, and then I think there's 3 more teams, if I'm not mistaken. But
Unless everybody else has just slumped since the last time I checked that.
taking a look at the standings here, I can look at the wild card standings going into today. The Indians, I don't think they've got a shot because they're not around anymore. The Guardians, I don't think have a shot either.
Guarantee the Indians will not win the pennant.
They are 11 games back in the wild card right there, so they would have to win the division. For the Reds, they are a game back now.
Wow, that's closer than I
So
thought.
there are 3 wild card teams at the moment: Phillies, Cubs, Giants. Diamondbacks are a half game back, and then you got the Reds a full game back. The Marlins are a game and a half back now. And the Padres are 5.5 out. And Mike Throne's New York Mets are 6.5 games back of the wild card.
I think the Reds are 3 games over 500 and maybe 4 back of the Brewers in the division race right now.
That sounds right.
But I think the Cubs might even be ahead of the Reds right now. So
Yes, they are.
yeah, okay,
By a full game.
gotcha.
All right, so there you have that. You can't get that kind of commentary anywhere, right? Even on the MLB Network.
No, not like that anyway.
You won't get that right on the MLB Network. Yesterday I'm looking here. I was very flushed out. I looked very pale. But today we seem to have color. It must be the presence of one
the
Mike
balance.
Smith.
It's the balance.
We're just not one unless we're together.
I'm soaking up more of the lighting, and it's not washing Dan out.
It's getting lost in his black hair. All right, coming up, this date for our revolutionary moment. Usually it's this date in history, but it's our revolutionary
Actually,
moment.
there's no date.
Yeah.
It's more of a topic.
An
about
event.
Children.
Really?
Yes, it's about children.
But there's a statue
Yes.
with a screamer on it.
A particular teenager that was really big in the Revolutionary War, but the general overall role that kids played. You might not even think that they had a role, but we're going to find out.
They had nothing else to do back then.
Well,
So
I don't want to go to school. I want to fight. I want to fight them redcoats. Yeah.
all right, coming up, our revolutionary moment next.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
Our revolutionary moment today.
Compliments of. This is your part.
Oh, the Nathaniel Massey chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yes, sir.
Specifically speaking, Teresa Reap or Laversa Moats.
Laversa Moats.
One or the other.
Children actually.
There are times I think they're the same person, but I know they're not.
I know that. I'd like to be in a conversation with those two.
I don't.
You'd be doing a lot of listening. I love both of you ladies.
He said that.
I love them.
He said that.
I love them like sisters. They just got so much knowledge. I like to listen to what they have to say.
And they probably just chuckled because they knew it's right.
Yeah. Children actually played a role during the Revolution. Some children followed the troops and helped all around. One great example of how kids helped is teenager Sybil Luddington. She rode twice as much as Paul Revere the night the British were coming. I bet you didn't know that. Not all kids went to school during the Revolutionary War. More children attended school in the North colonies than in the South. Often, children learned to read and write at ages 6 to 8. After that, usually only wealthy boys continued with school. But this is a statue of Sybil and her ride. You know, they call it the night ride of Paul Revere. Well, apparently, she rode farther than Paul did.
And she did it side saddle, according to the statue.
And got very little attention until Dan and Mike brings it to the light on this date.
Thank you to Laversa Moats.
This statue actually appears in more than one city. I think this one might be in Boston. There's one out in Illinois, and I think there's one in South Carolina.
Really?
So I never heard of the young lady, but she's getting some attention today. Looks like she's going to swat somebody with that stick. Must have been a red coat coming by or something.
There's a lot of things that go across my mind I'm not going to say.
Okay.
So, coming up this Friday, our McDonald's MVP, our McDonald's Players of the Game.
Players of the Game.
Something that we have handed out in previous years. Got brand new T-shirts. And so I haven't put one out just yet, but Sean Smith is going to get one.
Okay. 178 yards last week in the ball game, touchdown.
And a tough loss for the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
So Sean Smith, you've got a T-shirt coming your way, and also a meal from McDonald's.
That's what he wanted to hear. Give me that meal. Give me that meal.
You can keep the shirt. I want the
If
food.
you want to treat your lineman too, that's on you, but you get the meal.
Very true. So, my buddy Roger Lee at one point in time told me this joke, and I have used it as filler material while waiting for judges to make their decision during the Feast of the Flowering Moon contestants, the Queen's Pageant that we have going on there. Because sometimes it's tough for them to make a decision.
Exactly.
So it takes them a while to get that figured out. So it gave me time enough to tell this story I heard about the guy who went to church and came back with 2 black eyes.
I'm intrigued.
So this guy comes back from church and a buddy says, "Man, what happened to you? You got 2 black eyes." Well, I walked into the church and I got into the back of the church and they were singing already. And so everybody was standing up. Well, there was this rather large lady in front of me, and I noticed that her skirt was kind of tucked up inside of her, her backside. And so I thought, well, I'll help a sister out. I reached up and I pulled it out. She turned right around and she hauled off and hit me. Well, that explains one black eye. How'd you get the other? I got that when I tucked it back in.
I thought maybe the wife was going to be involved finding out what you did. Yeah. Oh, golly. Oh.
Now, Roger Lee, with that great baritone voice that he had, the way he would tell that story was, and he had that round face. You ever seen The Frisch's Big Boy?
Oh, yeah.
Roger Lee was the Frisch's Big Boy. And he just had that smile on his face, a round face as he's telling all that. That's when I tucked it back in.
It has nothing to do with radio, but it reminds me of a story.
Oh, wait a second. I forgot to. We
Rim shot.
There we go.
Yeah. My Aunt Mary, who was a twin, Mary and Martha, she was a saint. I mean, if you believe in Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, we're all saints.
Did they have a brother named Lazarus?
No, they did not.
Okay.
They did not. But she was just a saint, very meek person. But there's a story that they're in an elevator in Cincinnati, she and my Uncle John, her husband. And you've seen these movies where the elevator's crowded, and she's got her head down, she's talking, and she thinks she's pulling a thread on my Uncle John's pant leg. It turns out it was not Uncle John, it was somebody completely different that she didn't even know. And when she looked up and the gentleman is turning around and looking at her like, what are you doing? They said that the expression on her face was priceless. It's
I bet.
So I guess if you're in a crowded elevator and you think you're pulling a loose string or thread on your spouse's clothing, be careful.
I have had people actually do that,
or fix your lapel, your collar, or
and then
tag.
you turn around and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were my husband. That kind of thing.
Yeah, really. Oh.
I recall Brian Wickline and I, back when Brian, who runs the Chillicothe Paints, was my color analyst for Cavalier Sports. We were in Lancaster, and it was close to Missy's birthday. And so I said, we've got some extra time. Let's stop here. We were at the River Valley Mall. And I said, I want to go in and get something for Missy for her birthday. Oh, okay. What are you getting? He's thinking a mixer, microwave, something like that. And I said, no, I want to get her a dress for church. So here's these two guys walking through.
Today, they wouldn't even get a look.
Remember the movie Some Like It Hot?
Yeah.
Here we are. We're walking through the, I think it was at Penny's maybe, and it was the women's clothing department. Two guys. And he looks uncomfortable as all get out. And I'm just walking around and said, I think this one looks nice and everything. There was a lady with hair, the color of Missy's hair. And I walked over and I said, ma'am, excuse me. Could I set this with you? I'm buying this dress for my wife. Could you? And she goes, why, sure. And she puts her hair over top of it. I said, thank you very much. This is the one I'm going to buy. Now, today, that might get security called on you.
Right.
But Wickline was just fit to be tied. He was like, I can't believe you did that. What did you do that? I can't believe. We had a lot of fun when we went places. There was a time in which the Silver Bullet van we had for the radio station, the old Stagecoach, I believe Tom Beard called it. Remember we got the yellow light bar put on top of it?
Yeah.
And the reason that was put on there was so that when we did a remote broadcast, Dan Latham says, turn that on to draw attention to you.
Sure.
But don't do it while you're driving. We're coming back from Athens on Route 32. Nobody around. I mean, there is a stretch where there's no lights for like 9 miles, and it's snowing. He says, come on, turn on lights. Turn them on. I said, I can't do that. I'm told on. Turn them on. And I'm thinking it's going to be my luck. As soon as I turn them on, a state patrol's going to pop over the hill or whatever. Yeah. I turned them on, and every snowflake that was falling just lit up. It looked like we just said hit warp speed, and boom, right into all those stars.
Flying by.
Yes. But my favorite moment.
There's another.
This is well before he was married. So, Aaron, if you're listening right now, he had this habit of looking at pretty girls.
He being
Brian Wickline.
Okay, because you said Aaron.
When we were driving. Well,
Aaron, for the viewer, we want to make sure they know who
Aaron
we're
is
talking
his
about.
wife. Yeah. And so we're pulled up at this stoplight. I can't remember where we were. I think we were in Westerville, maybe. I think it was. And he was in the passenger side. I'm driving the van, and he's like this. And he's looking at this gal in the car next to us, just looking at her. I honk the horn. And what I get is, what are you doing? The look on his face, priceless.
Well, this would be a
Absolutely
compliment to Aaron, his wife, because he looked and picked the prettiest one.
This was many years before Aaron came along, so just wanted to.
I was trying to help you out there, Brian, but Dan wouldn't let it go. Yeah.
I may have been banned from setting foot at VA Memorial Stadium ever again. So, all right.
Wait a
nothing
minute.
else?
Hang on. Phone's ringing. Oh, Aaron wants to talk to you. That's it for today.
Yes. Better,
That's all,
better
folks.
be it for today. I think we've done enough damage. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Stay cool, folks. Coming up in just a moment, we'll have more for you on Litter Media Radio. But those of you that are watching here today, we have. You're about to say something?
We'll have our Pickaway County special edition tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Which is with John Howley of the Sporting Pumpkins. So he'll be stopping by today to pre-record his segment for tomorrow. And we're also lined up to talk to both coaches for our Litter Media Game of the Week this weekend. So all that for you in the coming days here on Litter Media. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks for watching. And thanks for listening to Litter Media Live.